तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and we are in chapter 35 at the Star Theatre, Sunday, December 14, 1884. And the context is that Sri Ramakrishna has gone to see the drama Prahlada Charita, and the drama is over, and Thakur is talking to Girish. And there, page 680, that day what we read, we go back one or two paras, 688, page top almost, Master to Girish. In Bengali, page 714, Tritiya Pariched. There we will start again. Master to Girish. One can realize God through intense renunciation. Through intense renunciation, Tivra Vairagya. Once we thought that dispassion will be a better word for Vairagya. But the soul must be restless for him. I think but should be dropped. But is generally showing the opposite. But is showing the meaning of that renunciation. But should be dropped. Simply, we can start the sentence, the soul must be restless for him. As restless as one feels for a breath of air when one's head is pressed under water. That is intense dispassion. Dispassion and feeling of want something is same. Vairagya and anurag, attraction. So, Vairagya, intense, means one should be so much restless for God as one is when the head is immersed in water, then one feels restless for one breath of air. Okay. And we know that full incident. In the next para, we can add, that is why I say. That is why I say. Can be added at the beginning of the next para. A man can see God if he unites in itself. So, a different set of attractions is showing equivalent to this. So, that is why I say, means equivalent to this, he has already told. He has been telling. A man can see God if he unites in himself the force of these three attractions. Attractions. The attraction of worldly possessions, we understood this far. We can make it straight rather. The worldly man's attraction for worldly possessions. Worldly man's attraction for the worldly possessions. The chaste wife's attraction for husband. And mother's attraction for the child. If you remember, this was told in the second meeting with Master Mashai. In answer to his question, under what conditions God is seen or realized. And there Thakur has said this very thing. The order was slightly different. There, worldly man's attraction for worldly things, mother's attraction for the child, and then lastly was given this, the chaste wife's attraction for her husband. So, after many days, let us think why these three are mentioned. What is the significance or implication? First of all, why Thakur is talking three, and what is the implication of each one of them? Now, worldly man's attachment or attraction for worldly things. There, two things we see. One is sense of possession. All these things belong to me. So, sense of possession of various things. That is one point. Secondly, the man wants variety of enjoyments. But God could be enjoyed in varieties of ways. So, that is the double significance of this worldly man's attraction for the worldly things. So, when a devotee thinks of God, he should feel God belongs to me, possession. And he should enjoy God in various ways. Then let us take up that incident here also. Mother's attraction for the child is almost absolutely unselfish, selfless. The mother thinks, what can I do for my child? Rather, what is that which I cannot do for my child? So everything which she thinks will be useful to the child, which she can do for the child, she goes on doing. That very thing, if turned to God, first thing is that there is no awe there. Because God is very big. No, God is like my child. And that means I have to protect him. Take Yashoda's example, then we understand. And what can I do for you? Even she goes to the length of chastising him if she understands that that is harmful to him, because he is her own child. And what we can do for him? Feed him, breastfeeding, taking care. So many things are there. I would like to give example from this word. Mothers and mothers. So here we must think of the ideal mother. Mother is there, child weeps. What she does? Some or other pats him and makes him silent? No. She simply puts him to the breast and feeds him milk. And the child becomes quiet for that time, and after 5 minutes again weeps. But there is a mother who understands if total selflessness is there, the sahanubhuti comes. She feels, she understands what problem the child is facing. Why is weeping? It is not always that he requires milk. The flies may be troubling him. He may be feeling some itching sensation somewhere. So sometimes child simply feels that let mother be near to me. So she immediately understands and does accordingly. That should be the ideal mother. So here, mother's attraction for the child takes this form, and she is ready to do everything. Rather, as I said, she thinks, what is that which I cannot do? And then the third one, chaste wife's attraction for the husband. You may think I am not much qualified to talk of that even for the mother, but I have some sahanubhuti, I can understand that. To my mind, the chaste wife's attraction for the husband includes all these things. But there is something very special. Can I become one with him? Can I merge myself in him? Can I have my ego dissolved into his ego? Can I feel what he wants me to do? These are the special attractions. She serves him, she is friend to him, she advises him sometimes. She actually feels that he is my child. And above all, the conjugal attraction to try to become one with him. So, now this actually includes everything, but Thakur has mentioned all the three because any facet should not be left out. And one by one. The first one is important. As I said, man wants to enjoy so many varieties of things in this world. So, man should enjoy God in all possible ways. And unselfishness and the special attraction. And these in the world are happening for things of the world. That child is a cloud of earth. That husband is a cloud of earth. So these attractions are not finding the fulfillment. Thakur is telling these attractions total and turn to God, where they will find their fulfillment. And that also involves the vairagya. What shall I do with this so-called child or so-called husband? Let me transcend this and put all these relations with God and God alone. If you can unite these three forms of love and give it all to God, then you can see Him at once. At once here is added. compared to the previous crop. Yes, at once. If these three are united, taken away from this world and given to God, that moment you will realize God. So it is a tremendous statement. And he makes all these equivalent to a Ram Prasadi song. Cry to your mother Shama with a real cry, O mind, and how can she hold herself from you? So, there also it is there that one should cry. So, all these attractions result in that restlessness and then pang of separation and then cry. And this cry will bring him immediately. If a devotee prays to God with real longing, God cannot help revealing himself to him. So here the touch of knowledge has come that getting God means seeing him, directly experiencing him. The other day, I told you the meaning of bhakti. It is to adore God with body, mind, and word. Another way of putting the same thing. Three types of relations we are told. Now we have three faculties or three parts in our personality. And how? With all these three, we have to worship Him. Adore Him means we have to worship Him, be devoted to Him, express our devotion to Him through body, mind, and speech. Now, he explained these three. With body means to serve and worship God with one's hands, to go to holy places with one's feet, hear the chanting of the name and glories of God with one's ears, and behold the divine image with one's eyes. Because through this realization will take place. So before that, we are concentrated on an image as God Himself. And to see that, with mind means to contemplate and meditate on God constantly, and to remember and think of His Leela. Now, this is a special type of meditation. Mind is restless, so it cannot concentratedly think of only God or His qualities. So, the various incidents, for example, now we take Ramakrishna, how he came in a vision to Kshudiram and to Chandradevi. How, when he was very young, he appeared full of light, full length on the bed to Chandradevi. How, when he was in Chandradevi's womb, she started seeing so many gods and feeling childlike attraction for all the gods. And how, as a small child, he became an attraction for all the women and all the men of the village. And how, when he was growing, how he could take part like the girls of Vrindavan. And how, that goldsmith quarter. Ladies liked him, and the goldsmith's head of the family had full faith in him. All those sports, if we sum up them, when one after the other, if the mind can bring them to one's mind, then that is called a moving meditation, chaladhya. And that is what Thakur is mentioning here. Contemplate and meditate on God constantly, and again something strikes and I have to see the Bengali. And is not correct. And is not correct. Because the point is that can one steadily think of him? So, there, constantly is there now. Contemplate and meditate on God constantly, dash, to remember and think of his Leela, comma, to remember and think of his Leela. With words means to sing hymns to him and chant his name and glories. In all body, mind and speech, express your devotion to him. Now that is an ideal situation where one can realize God. Now, for Girish, devotion as described by Narada is suited to the Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga means relative talk. Now he is talking in relation to Girish's adhikar or some people's adhikar. It means to chant constantly the name and glories of God. Let those who have no leisure worship God at least morning and evening by wholeheartedly chanting his name and clapping their hands. Morning and evening. At least morning and evening. At least means not that you have to chant only morning and evening. Whenever possible, but at least morning and evening. Now, there one point comes ego of the devotee. In all those three relations also. So that is not harmful to spiritual life. That is actually a part of sadhana. The ego of a devotee begets no pride. It does not create ignorance. On the contrary, it helps one realize God. This ego is no more like the ordinary ego that this ego is no more like the ordinary ego. For example, there the green vegetables generally produce biles in the stomach. But there is a green called hinche, which does not produce bile, which rather cures the bile. So here the meaning is desire, doing something in the world are different. And though the name is same, desire, but it is of a different kind, opposite kind, it destroys the other desires. And so this ego of a devotee is not troublesome like the other egos. It rather takes care of your ego, finally dissolves you into God. So, hinche among the ordinary greens. One generally becomes indisposed by eating greens, pitta, bites. But hinche removes excessive bile. It does one good. Sugar candy is not like ordinary sweets. Sweets may produce acidity, but sugar candy will not produce acidity. May be useful in the acidity case to take sugar candy. Sweets are generally harmful, but sugar candy removes acidity. So this one thing, how the ego of a devotee is helpful to him in spiritual progress. All-sided description is going on. Nishtha leads to bhakti. Nishtha. Nishtha is steadfastness. Now there is an external form of nishtha, there is an internal spirit of nishtha. External form of nishtha, for example, to get up early in the morning every day, to attend the Mangalarti or meditation early in the morning every day. Take the name of God morning and evening every day. That is called Nishtha externally. So many other things. To observe some fasting and all that regularly. Now the internal meaning of Nishtha is that if there is a Shraddha, faith, that this is my means of realizing God. I do not require anything else if I follow this. This is the internal meaning of Nishtha. Nishtha leads to bhakti. Bhakti, when mature, becomes bhava. Bhava is realization of some relation with God, experiencing some relationship with God. Bhava, when concentrated, becomes Mahabhava. Mahabhava means 19 types of bhav together. That is Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhur. Shanta has 4 expressions, and others have 5 expressions each. All of them together is called Mahabhava. All relationships together is called Mahabhava. So Bhav, when matures, becomes Mahabhava. And last of all is Prema. Now this we explained several times. Last of all is Prema. It does not mean that from the beginning we do not love our God. So this Prema is a technical word used by the Vaishnava. Technical word which comes after Mahabhava. So that we should not confuse. I don't have love for God. I am not like the gopis. I am not like Mira. That comes after Mahabhava. So it does not mean the usual feeling of love. It is there in the very beginning. And last of all is Prema. Prema is like a cord. By Prema, God is bound to the devotee like a cord. Devotee can pull God. He can no longer run away. God can no longer run away from that devotee who has developed Prema. So understand, God becomes like slave to him. By prema, God is bound to the devotee. He can no longer run away. An ordinary man can at best achieve bhava. So we are not expected to achieve prema. None but an Ishwar Koti attains Mahabhava and prema. So we need not aspire for that also. Bhava is sufficient. If that intimate relationship with God is established, it is mukti. Chaitanya Dev attained them. Example, Avatar only. Now he brings here another path of sadhana. That is, all-sided illumination is being given to Girish. And through Girish to all of us. What is the meaning of Jnana Yoga? It is the path by which a man can realize the true nature of his own self. It is the awareness that Brahman alone is his true nature. Prahlada sometimes was aware of his identity with Brahman, and sometimes he would see that God was one and he another. At such times, he would remain in the mood of bhakti. So, bhakti and jnana go together. Hanuman said. Prahlad's example, now Hanuman's example for relation with God on 3 stages. Hanuman said, O Rama, sometimes I find that you are the whole and I am a part. Is this given first? Okay. You are the whole and I am a part. Sometimes that you are the master and I am your servant. But, O Rama, when I have the knowledge of reality, I see that you are I and I am you. So, physical level, servant. Mental level, part. Reality, identical. That is what a most ideal devotee's feeling. Girish, so this has appealed to Girish very much. Master, why shouldn't a man be able to realize God in the world? Constant theme. But he will say provided, but has come. This always comes with a rider. Don't think that if I am a householder, I cannot realize God. Don't think that because I am a householder, I will easily realize God. Householders also can realize provided or but. But he must have discrimination and dispassion. Here the word dispassion is used. Vivek and Vairagya, essential for a householder. He must have the unshakable awareness that God alone is. See, for Bhakta, he is telling this, which is taken as a part of Jnana Yoga. But everywhere he has told it to the Bhakta. Everywhere. To householders, he has told this. He must have unshakable awareness that God alone is real and all else is unreal and has but a 2 days existence. It will not do to float on the point. It will not do to float on the surface. You must dive deep. So only superficially following some rituals or taking them is not sufficient. Feeling should be developed. You should go deep within your own personality. With these words, the master sang, dive deep, O mind, dive deep in the ocean of God's beauty. If you descend to the uttermost depths, there you will find the gem of love, Master. You must remember another thing. In the ocean, there is danger of alligators. When the ocean point has come, in the ocean, there is danger of alligators, crocodiles. That is to say, of lust and delight. They are like the crocodiles. Girish, I am not afraid of the king of death. Today is coming. Master, but I am speaking of the danger of the alligators of lust. That means the crocodile will not kill you, but spoil you. And the like. So, not simply afraid of death, but this also. Lust and the like. Because of them, one should smear one's body with turmeric before diving in. The turmeric of discrimination and dispassion. Then the crocodile will not catch you. Some attain knowledge of God in the world. In the world means as householders also. Some attain knowledge of God in the world. Mention is made of two classes of yogis, the hidden and the known. Those who have renounced the world are known yogis. All recognize them, but the hidden yogis live in the world. They are not known. They are like the maid servant who performs her duties in the house, but whose mind is fixed on her children in the country. So all these we have heard on the second day talking to Master Masha in answer to his various questions. Here all of them are coming together. There the first question was how to put mind in God. Second was how to live in the world. Third was can God be realized? And fourth was under what condition God is realized. And in answer to them, Thakur had told so many things and they are all coming here together. They are like the maid servant who performs her duties in the house, but whose mind is fixed on her children in the country. You understand? Maid servant in one's own house. Balaram Babu is a brilliant example of that. And thinking of one's own child means thinking of God, who is beyond all. There also, as I have told you, like the loose woman who performs her household duties jealously, but whose mind constantly dwells on her lover. Another example. It is very hard to cultivate discrimination and dispassion. So, householder can do, and then difficult to develop discrimination and dispassion. It is not easy to get rid of the idea, I am the master and all these are mine. I saw a deputy magistrate who earns a salary of 800 rupees, paying no attention to a religious discourse. He had brought one of his children with him and was busy finding a good place for him to sit. I know another man, whom I shall not name, who used to devote a great deal of time to japa, but he bore false witness in court for the sake of 10,000 rupees. Thakur has not told the name, so we need not go. Therefore, I say that a man can realize God in the world too, but only if he has discrimination and dispassion. Girish, what will happen to the sinner, one who has already and has a habit of sin? To him, what will happen? So this, up till now, Thakur has not taken. He has taken householders in general. So Girish pointedly asked this. Sri Ramakrishna sang in a tender voice, turning his eyes upwards. Meditate on the Lord, the slayer of hell's dire woes. He who removes the fear of death, thinking of him, the soul is freed from worldly grief and sails across the sea of life in the twinkling of an eye. Consider, O my mind, why we have come to earth. What gain is there in evil thoughts and deeds? Your way lies not through these. Perform your penance here by meditating long and deep on the everlasting Lord. That is the answer. Master, sails across the sea of life in the twinkling of an eye, that line of the song. One attains the vision of God if Mahamaya steps aside from the door. Mahamaya, God's deluding power, but also graceful to the devotees. Mahamaya's grace is necessary. Hence the worship of Shakti. So you have to please that Mahamaya. You see, God is near us, but it is not possible to know him because Mahamaya stands between. He has a patent example of that. Rama, Lakshmana and Sita were walking along. Rama walked ahead, Sita in the middle and Lakshmana last. Very narrow path in the forest. Lakshmana was only 2.5 cubits away from Rama, but he couldn't see Rama because Sita, Mahamaya, was in the way. Sita is Rama Shakti. So here the story is not completed. Sita used to shift to one side now and then, telling Lakshmana, see him now. So like that, Mahamaya should step aside. While worshipping God, one should assume a definite attitude. That is at the start, bhav. I have 3 attitudes: the attitude of a child, the attitude of a maidservant, and the attitude of a friend. So from this we understand something. Thakur has told one relation, but that does not mean only one relation. Thakur himself has 3. For a long time, I regarded myself as a maidservant and a woman companion of God At that time, I used to wear skirts and ornaments like a woman. The attitude of a child is very good. The attitude of a hero is not good. Exceptional people can have that. What is the attitude of a hero? To satisfy Mahamaya by sexually satisfying her. That is the hero. Some people cherish it. They regard themselves as Purusha and woman as Prakriti. Woman is taken as representative of that Mahamaya. They want to propitiate woman through intercourse with her. Straight away is mentioned, but this method often causes disaster. They cannot control oneself. Girish, at one time I too cherished that idea. And Thakur knew that. That is why he has brought this. Sri Ramakrishna looked at Girish pensively. Girish, I still have that twist in my mind. He has come out completely. Tell me what I should do. Girish's sincerity, introspection, expressing everything before Thakur is really remarkable. Hero. Swamiji said, I have traveled half the world, I have not seen another hero like Girish. Tell me what should I do? Sri Ramakrishna reflected a minute and said, give God your power of attorney. Let him do whatever he likes. So I should be shifted to God, not to your will. That will solve all the problems. The conversation then turned to Sri Ramakrishna's young devotees. So this much is for Girish. Common householder, having defects and having the wrong attitude also, but giving the power of attorney will solve that problem also. And so that is comprehensive. We have found this talk with Girish was very comprehensive. Now, the conversation then turned to Sri Ramakrishna's young devotees, master to Girish and others. He is talking to them, but talking about them. In meditation, I see the inner traits of these youngsters. They have no thought of acquiring house and property. They do not crave sex pleasure. Those of the youngsters who are married do not sleep with their wives. The truth is that unless a man has got rid of rajas and has acquired sattva, he cannot steadily dwell in God. He cannot love God and realize Him. Now Girish feels a slight disturb, but also assurance. Girish, you have blessed me, Master. How is that? I said that you should succeed if you were sincere. Saying this, the Master exclaimed, Anandamayi, that is, blissful mother, and went into Samadhi. By remembering that Girish has given him responsibility, he expresses his Godhood. He remained in that state for a long time. Regaining partial consciousness, he said, where are those rascals? Rascals is a word of endearment here, huh? And he's not finding the youngsters there, so he wants them. M brought Baburam to him. Sri Ramakrishna looked at Baburam and the other devotees and said, still in ecstasy, the bliss of Satchidananda is indeed good, but what about the bliss of divine inebriation? Next to that. He began to sing. Once for all this time, I have thoroughly understood from one who knows it well, I have learned the secret of bhav, some relationship, and nature of God. The full song is given in Bengali, beautiful song. এবার আমি ভালো ভেবেছি, ভালো ভাবির কাছে ভাব শিখেছি, যে দেশে রজনী নাই সেই দেশের এক লোক পেয়েছি, আমি কিংবা দিবা কিংবা সন্ধ্যা সন্ধ্যারে বন্ধা করেছি, ঘুম ভেঙেছে আর কি ঘুমাই, যোগে জাগে জেগে আছি, যোগ নিদ্রা তোরে দিয়ে মা ঘুমের ঘুম পাড়িয়েছি, সোহাগ গন্ধকে দিয়ে খাসা রং চড়াইছি, মণি মন্দির মেজে লব অক্ষ দুটি করে কুচি, প্রসাদ বলে মুক্তি মুক্তি উভয়ে মাথায় রেখেছি, কালী ব্রহ্ম জনে মর্ম ধর্মা ধর্ম সব ছেড়েছি. Let us take some ideas from that also. Huh? Here dots are mentioned. That means somewhere the full song is given and we are asked to refer to that. That is the meaning of these dots. In that country where there is no night. From that country, I got one man. Guru. And then in Sandhya you have to do this. So I reduce that Sandhya to a barren woman. That means I am no more thinking of a proper time. And sleep in the night, I made sleep, I put sleep to sleep. I am awake. Smell and beauty. I have given beauty to the smell, smell to the beauty. Two eyes are made broomstick, and I cleaned the inner shrine. Bhakti Mukti, all that I put on my head, I know that Kali is Brahma, so I'm not worried about righteousness or unrighteousness. That is the full song. Again he sang, that also is given in Bengali in full. Why should I go to Ganga or Gaya or to Kashi, Kanchi or Prabhas? So long as I can breathe my last with Kali's name upon my lips. Gaya, Ganga, Prabhas आदि Kashi, Kanchi केवा चाहे काली काली बोले अमर अजपा जदि पुराए त्रिसंध्या जे बोले काली पूजा संध्या से की चाहे संध्या तर संध्या ने फिरे कि वो संधि नहीं पाए काली नामेर कत गुण केवा जानते पारे ताए देवादिदेव महादेव जार पंचमुखे गुण गाए दान व्रत यज्ञ आदि आर किछु ना मने लय Madaner Yagyagya Brahmamaya Rangappa. Here the poet is Madan. So, why should I go to holy places if my Ajappa Jadi Purai? Purai means at the point of death. Ajappa means Japa which is not done with effort. Because the whole life practice, because of the love, the Japa automatically happens. That is called Ajappa. So breathe is last with Ajappa. Kali Kali name. I told you one example of Nityasananda, how deep that had gone, even in unconscious state he was chanting. So, all right, the full song. Every religious sadhana, I only know one, to take Kali's name and devote yourself to the Kali's feet. The master continued saying, while praying to the Divine Mother, I said, "O Mother, I don't seek anything else. Give me only pure love for thee. I don't want anything else. Give me pure love for thee." Pure means unselfish, without any demand. Sri Ramakrishna was pleased with Girish's calm mood. Girish was not intoxicated with wine at that time. So that mood is very nice. He said to him, "This mood of yours is good. The calm mood is the best." The master was seated in the manager's room. This is all in the theatre going on after the drama. A man entered and said, "Will you see the farce, the confusion of marriage?" Girish had mentioned that and Thakur had already remarked. It is being played now. Sri Ramakrishna said to Girish, "What have you done? This farce after the life of Prahlada, for sweets and rice pudding, and then a dish of bitter herbs." In Bengal, that sukta is taken in the very beginning so that pitta goes down and hunger becomes normal. It is not taken at the end. After the theatre, the actresses, following Girish's instructions, So perhaps that farce also is over. Came to the room to salute Sri Ramakrishna. They bowed before him, touching the ground with their foreheads. The devotees noticed that some of the actresses, in saluting the master, touched his feet. Now that is because of their sinful life will be troublesome to the master. But he is kind. Though he says, he said to them very tenderly, please don't do that, mother. Salute me from distance only. After the actresses had left the room, Sri Ramakrishna said to the devotees, it is all he, only in different form. So that consciousness does not go, and yet he is aware of their sinful life. That is the beauty. The carriage was ready at the door. Girish and the others came to the street to see the master. As soon as Sri Ramakrishna stepped into the carriage, he went into deep samadhi. Coming out of theatre, going to his own room, he has gone into samadhi. Narayan and several other devotees were with him. The carriage started for Dakshineshwar. So we have come to the end of our time. Okay, so next incident we will take tomorrow. Om Tava Kathāmritam Sapta Jivanam Kavibiridhitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadasatam Bhuigrunantiye Bhuridajana. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.